Great.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Abimbola Luoye, and I'm presenting my internship report. The report provides an overview of my activities with my team. And this is the overview of the internship activities, which includes introduction to Scrum Mastery, Sprint 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay. During my 3-month internship program, I had the opportunity to facilitate an exciting project aimed at building a website where mentees could book mentorship session with mentors, which is our project mandate. And my team, I am the Scrum Master of my team, and it consists of the Scrum Master who, and I facilitate the Scrum process and ensure the team follows Scrum principle. The ADM, PM, who focuses on making things happen within the team. The product owner represents the interests of the stakeholders and prioritizes features for development. And then I have the development team as well. They are the cross-functional group who is responsible for delivering the product increment. And it consists of the QAs, and other developers. And then we have the business analysts that represent the interests of the PO within the team. This is the team attendance that we take during that our daily stand-up. And then we agreed within the team on our project objective, our mission, vision, and also our values as seen on the slide. Events, we had events as Scrum ceremonies, our team events where they were time box, and we follow the Scrum framework, utilizing short iterative sprints to deliver value incrementally and adapt to changing requirements. So this is a summary of, I'll give you a summary of what we did on the during the sprints for Sprint 0, from Sprint 0. In Sprint 0, it was our onboarding stage. We got to know each other, the stakeholder. We set up our job board. We had some impediment during Sprint 0, which we're able to resolve. And this impediment has to do with the setting up of our job board, and then we were able to resolve that as well. In Sprint 1, we started the sprint planning, the daily Scrum, we started all our ceremonies during Sprint 1. And we're not able to produce any increment. However, we were able to do our team charter. We were able to set up our team charter during that Sprint 1. And we also did a presentation, which is our individual demo in Sprint 1. And in Sprint 1, our goal was actually focused on the header and the footer. Like I said, we're not able to produce any increment in Sprint 1. And in Sprint 2, we started developing, we had a goal we focused on the main body and other PBIs in Sprint 2. And at that time, we already learned about the sprint ceremony, that we're doing it properly, and we were learning and unlearning at that time. And in Sprint 2, these are all the PBIs that we committed during that during Sprint 2, and it was all menus were clickable during that Sprint 2. In Sprint 3, we were focused on create and edit and build mentees profile. Although we're not, and then we also carried over some, all the things that we're not able to do in Sprint 2, we carried it over to Sprint 3. And then we had a key deliverable in Sprint 3, which is the resume creation and review. And then we also, and also our self-development. And these are a bunch burn down and a burn down chart, a velocity, and throughout the sprint we maintained 7 PBIs. The velocity was 7.
40 seconds to go.
40 seconds to go. In Sprint 4, we focus on payment gateway and completing the development and testing of previous tasks in Sprint 3. And then achievement, we were able to achieve, or we were able to finish produce increments. The increment we put home, join as a mentor, start as a mentee. And we also created a blog profile and published it. So this and also the deliverables, my deliverable as a Scrum Master, I was able to plan and facilitate Scrum ceremonies. I guided the support my team in adhering to Scrum practices. I collaborated with product owners and stakeholders to prioritize and refine product backlog. I foster a culture of transparency, collaboration, and continuous improvement within the team. And these are our board, the team board, the ritual board. This is just a snapshot of, and then we use Fibonacci. That's what we use in our estimate. Overall, the first sprint was a productive period with significant progress made towards the project goals. My team's dedication, collaboration, and problem-solving skills were instrumental in achieving our objectives. Thank you.
5 minutes, 50 seconds.
All right. Thank you so much, Abimbola. Well done, sir. Well done. I know there was a bit of rush, but thank you for your delivery. The next person, please, straight away. Alao Oluwaseun. Quickly. Thank you.
Time starts now.
Okay, good evening, everyone. My name is Biodun. And as a Scrum Master, I have been able to keep the team on track and focus on what matters, serve as a bridge between the product management and the development team. And also I've been able to clear obstacle and protect the team from distraction. And I've been able to lead through influence and credibility. So for my introduction, we did discuss about the definition of done and the definition of ready at the beginning of the project. We did onboarding, and these are the training that we attended throughout the program. We discussed about the objective as well, regarding the MentorScape website development. The Scrum events, we had our sprint planning, daily stand-ups, sprint review, and retrospective. And it was all time box, as you can see the different hours for 1 month as listed below. And also for the sprint planning, we came together, we committed story explanation was done in our sprint planning. Daily stand-up, I was able to facilitate meetings on some of the daily stand-up. And there was collaboration in terms of transparency and accountability within the team. And also we had our sprint review at the end of the sprint, and feedbacks from stakeholders was done. And I was able to also send invite out to our the product owner, because she's meant to take ownership of the sprint review and to be able to get feedbacks as well. We did the retro as well at the end of the sprint, and we were able to discuss what went well, what needs improvement on, and the action plan. And those are the screenshots of the action plan from sprint 1 to sprint 4. And some of them has been actioned accordingly, but the only one that outstanding is the sprint 4 action plan, which is the initial issue with the website, which is still ongoing, and the business is aware of this. And we had our sprint refinement, and the sprint refinement is not part of this the Scrum events, but it helps us to be able to helps in our sprint planning in order to cut the size of the items that needs committing in order of priority against our sprint planning. So the refinement is it helps anyway, but it's not part of the event anyway, but it helps to minimize the amount of time that is spent. And during the sprint 0, this is what we are able to achieve during the sprint 0 facilitating meetings. I also took ownership of the Scrum demo for the sprint 0. This is just what I did in terms of setting up the Azure Devo, and these are the step-by-step guide. This is our project board, our team's backlog, and also the tax board. It's just a screenshot of what we did. Estimation poker and the wiki page. For sprint 1, I created a task for the data analyst and cybersecurity. List of not active members and non-active member was compiled. And also, this is just a screenshot of the cybersecurity task that I created during the sprint 1, and it's just a screenshot as well. The capacity planning was done. And also, this is just a screenshot of the active non-active members. Self-development was done during our sprint anyway, from sprint 1 to sprint 4. And we had one-to-one meetings regularly just to update the team to make sure we are right on track. The team repository is just to help new starters that are just joining the organization to be able, it's just like a library to go to retrieve information, and also for anybody that is behind to also retrieve information. For sprint 3, I was able to create and add tags. I reach out to non-active members and also did impediment throughout the sprints. And up to date, I'm still doing the impediment as a Scrum Masters. This is just an example of how our web page looks like. A screenshot of our web page. Attendance was taken, an example of that as well. And also for sprint 4, we met with our
30
mentors all
seconds to
throughout
go.
the sprint as well. And we created a career swim lane. This is just a screenshot of one of the tasks we did during the sprint 4. And also we did Jira. This is a screenshot of the Jira I did while on the training, and just to showcase this. And the velocity, it shows here that the velocity shows the work that was completed. It also helps us to plan the tasks for the past for the present sprints
5
based on
minutes.
past sprint performance anyway. So it shows that we actually did completed 13 stories during sprint 3, according to what the chart is showing right now. The burn down chart as well shows a graphical representation of the progress of our of the sprint 1 to sprint 4. The summary is just that we were able to achieve 13 stories. Personal care actually encouraged me and motivate me. And also, I was able to have
Time up.
one-to-one with our team members. I escalated impediment. This is a screenshot of the impediment that was escalated. And these are some of the screenshots as well of the impediments that I did throughout the program, just to visualize this. And challenges that was faced. Ongoing, the business is aware of the website issue. Those are the challenges that was faced and the outcome. Lesson learned, I learned that during the retrospective, we are meant to invite our
6
product owner
minutes.
during our retrospective meeting. And in conclusion, it's been great to be a true leader for our team legend, and also to help towards achieving a high performance and success throughout the whole sprint. Thank you very much for listening.
All right.
6
Thank
minutes,
you.
19 seconds. Time starts now.
Go ahead. We can't hear you, Christiana.
Hi, good evening, everyone. My name is Christiana, and I'm part of the team for Optimize in this section of for this sprint training, which I will be taking you through the project, the sprints I worked on, and what I learned all through the sprint that I was not facilitating. So for the sprint 0, which I facilitate, and then I do the collation of part demo presentation, we were taught about the steady stand-up and explanation of how to go about it, and then we were taught about how to set up our Azure DevOps, the onboarding and the impediments, which we were taught what are impediments, how do we classify impediments. So now I'm showing you the sprint review, the stakeholders in my team, which is the the articles on my product backlog given by the product owner, which gives instruction of what she wants, the priorities, the user stories, the acceptance criteria, the user story, which is written by the BA, the acceptance criteria given by her, and then the sprint backlog, our daily stand-up, retrospective at the end of each sprint, and then we look at the finished work. This sprint is showing you this Azure board that was set up from the beginning, which means the first week of our training. Then I'm showing the project we worked on. It's a software numeric project that is based on mobile application, and it's a customer centered, which means that the end goal of this project is to see and list and see how the experience of the final consumer, which means, and then we also respond to the question they raised while using it, which means that, or if they test it at the final stage and they said this is what it's looking like, they don't want it, then we have to modify to give them the best experience on this platform. Tools that were used during this training, which is the Azure DevOps, where we have the wiki for writing our goals, the team charters for writing the what we need to do, and then we also, from this Azure DevOps, we can have our metrics that serves us to monitor our flow of work and how we are able to input backlog, which give this transition of our work effort. Then we use Teams, which is a class communication tools for having our meetings, daily stand-up, and communication between our team members. Metrics, I'm showing for I facilitate Sprint 3, and then for Sprint 0, we were not taught about the metrics, so we do not have any idea of it. But from Sprint 3 that I facilitated, this you can see the Sprint PBI burn down, which means the effort, the numbers of stories that were populated on the backlog, the numbers of items that we have on the backlog, you can see, and then the completed stories that we were able to complete as a task. You can also see our burn, which shows also another effort that was the average of the effort that we are able to burn up. And then you can see our velocity as well, which is giving us the workout item with velocity. And then on this chart, you can also see the inflow of our work, how much we're able to complete, how much we're able to put in, and how much we are unable to complete. During this sprint too, I do not have the slide, but during this sprint too, we learned about the team charter, which explains which was taught by one of the tutors, I forgot her name, but it taught us how to set up our team charter, which means that this is the goal for this team, for this project, how do we go about it, how best do we manage this. Retrospective. So for Sprint 3, I managed retrospective, which a lot of our team members really expressed their mind, what we're able to achieve compared to the previous sprint, what we're able to do better, what we're unable to do well, and then in the coming sprint, what are the possible things we can get better on. Before I go, I really want to say thank you to Mr. Wells, which is one of the mentors. I reached out to him a lot. He helped us in most of the time. He taught us how to input our effort and a complete effort. I'm sorry for the word, I forgot the word. It means that we need to ask our members how much effort they can put in a task. He taught us how to calculate this effort, how much the QAs can put in a task, removing the holidays, numbers of hours, and all of that. And then after speaking with the team, with the
5 minutes.
And they said they can give us 2 hours in a week to complete each task. Also, impediment, I from my own point of view, I feel like more classes need to be input into this training for us to have a better experience. And I suggest that the video should be posted also on the Prep Major platform, as while watching on YouTube, adverts pops up, and then I feel like it's also a distraction. Another thank you to Mr. Wells for helping me with my interview. I had my first interview, and that's all. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Time starts now.
You need to put it on slideshow, and also we can hear you. Right. So I would also like to say that when you are presenting, ensure you download the file. Don't present online, because anything can happen. Yeah. Ensure that you download the file. Is a good practice. But we can't hear you anyway, so put it on slideshow and let's continue. Okay, cool. Thank you. We still can't hear you. Nike, can you be muted, please? Thank you.
Bring it.
Ebon, we can't hear you. So let's move to the next person. Allow me, please.
Time starts now.
Sorry, I need to put it on slide. Can I put it one after the
AB, to put it on slideshow, you see, if you see down the bottom of your slide, see the bottom. No, enable edit itself, or else you can't even do. Just enable it first. But anyways, you're not editing. But see the bottom of your slide where you have the zoom button. No, okay. Look at the bottom of your slide where you have the zoom button. You see a TV-like stand there, just the next icon before that. Yes, that icon. Click on that. So it puts you on slideshow. Yeah, just click on it. That's all. Thank you. Go ahead, please.
Okay. This is not the beginning.
You need to move up, okay? Press your up button, up arrow button, so, yeah.
Okay, that's it. Okay, sorry. Good evening, everyone. My name is AP Okezi. I'm one of the SMs. Oh my God. So sorry, I have another device on. Sorry about that. End of project report, January 2024. Introduction. During my internship at Blue Sky Citadel from 19th of January to date, it's been an impactful experience and I've learned a lot as a Scrum Master. We worked on the project, which is based on a website development initiative that is tasked with creating a dynamic online platform that empowers both mentors and mentees to engage in meaningful mentorship. And it's called Mentorscape. The initiative is expected to be completed within 3 months with regular updates and progress reports shared with stakeholders throughout the project. We had 4 sprints, each has 2 weeks duration. Then we had the key stakeholders.
Sorry, Ebi. You can skip all this one. I want the call. What did you do? I think we know all these things. Please, yeah. Sorry. Thank you.
Okay. Then in sprint, sorry about that. In sprint 0, we had onboarding. The teams were onboarded, and I got acquainted with members of the team, the mentors and the bodies. Our team picked a name, which is Legend. And then we joined different guild. I joined the General Guild and the Scrum Masters Guild. I created MS Team account for our meeting. And I also sent link to the members of my team. We set up our Azure Devo board and we added our members, the members onto the board. I escalated issues and impediments appropriately to the admin, especially the members who were finding it difficult to be added to the board and those who were looking for their guild, their community. Then we had the intro meeting. There were meetings that were the Scrum meetings, and then we kicked off with our other meeting. Then we the responsibilities and of a Scrum Master. A Scrum Master is a facilitator and a true leader in a Scrum team. They ensure that the Scrum team adheres to the principles and process of the Scrum. I facilitated meetings, I monitored and encouraged coaching, I collaborated with team, and I escalated impediments. This is the mentor skill board. Then Azure DevOps, one of the DevOps is one of the tools we used, and is a collaborative tools. With Azure DevOps, we also have some features, which one of it is the board, the project board. And the project board is actually used for transparency and tracking of work. You can see where the members were added on the board. The names are appearing here. Then is the project detail. Then the Scrum ceremonies. We have the sprint planning, which is normally done at the beginning of every sprint. And when you're doing it, the team members will come together, the development team, and this is how we'll plan of the work that we're going to, that will be done. Plan ahead of the work that will be done, we'll put in. Then we also have the sprint review. The sprint review talks about, it's more like a showcasing where the development team showcases their work to the stakeholders, and the stakeholder gives a feedback. Then we have the retrospective. That this is where we the meeting where we discuss about what we did right, what we did wrong, and how we're going to improve on it. And I facilitated in most of it. Then my sprint one, the goal is landing page to be created that has header, banner, and footer. The Scrum ceremonies, I facilitated the daily stand-ups, which is part of the Scrum ceremony, which is always time boxed for 15 minutes. In the ceremony, this is where we discuss about what we did the previous day and what we're going to do the next day. Teams collaborate and they are aligned with each other. We were given us a task to do, story, and we assigned it to cyber security, and our team was unable to achieve our goal for sprint one, stories. We committed 6 stories were committed. I facilitated the retrospective. I worked alongside with my team members to put the end of the demo. Our metrics shows, which I will show now. Sorry, this is our wiki page and our team charter, where it shows the roles and responsibility. Our task board.
8 minutes
this
now.
this is our metrics, which shows that the work, if you look at it, that the work
you don't
was
need to speak
committed.
again. Hi, Abby. Just run through the slides. Let's just see. Just next. Don't explain again. Just next. Okay. Let's see what we have. Just keep going quickly. Thank you. Great. Keep going. You need to move. Just be moving. Don't worry. We'll see it. Keep moving. Thank you so much. The content is nice. So thank you. Well done, Ibi. You get.
Time starts now.
Right. Good evening, everybody. My name is Ibukun Akilo, also known as Dami within the team. I'm a Scrum Master. So we started at Sprint 0. everybody trying to get to meet each other, and I was allocated to Team Optimind. So in Sprint Zero, we took turns at running the stand-up meeting, and that was an initiative brought up by Abimbola Luwoye. So at that point, every Scrum Master within Optimind had already started, getting some practice. And we, as Scrum Masters as well, also helped to escalate the issues within the team, in terms of joining the tools, Microsoft Teams, Azure DevOps, we, the Scrum Masters, helped in escalating that to the appropriate people. Then in Sprint 1, during Sprint 1, I was the presiding Scrum Master for my team. So within that sprint, I was able to run the stand-up meetings consistently. And during the stand-up meetings, I tried to resolve the impediments, especially the simple and easy ones that we could resolve there and there on the spot. Then we also had to set up the Azure DevOps board for the project, and the cybersecurity user stories were also written. I wrote some of the cybersecurity user stories on Optimind board, Scrum board. Then I also did the team presentation that for Sprint 1 on behalf of the Scrum Masters. Then in Sprint 2, we had much more progress in terms of our project because the Scrum Master at that point had learned quite a lot, from watching what happened in the past. So things moved a bit faster, and in that sprint, I was able to facilitate ad hoc meetings. I assisted the presiding Scrum Master with the ad hoc meetings that we had outside of the team. I also did the presentation, the personal presentation that we're supposed to do with the video and the whole team, and I got my feedback, which I learned from, and I put into practice as well. Then in Sprint 3, the presiding Scrum Master at that point as well, Christiana, had learned quite a lot, and she was very proactive, and we all engaged in the retrospective, as she mentioned during our own presentation as well, which was enlightening, as we were able to discover what the team actually needed to improve in the next sprint. So I can recall that retrospective in Sprint 3 quite more vividly because there was a lot of participation and communication between the team. And at that point, we had gotten to know each other. So it was easier. Everyone was more open, and it was easier to know how to move forward. Then for Sprint 4, the project was in good shape. We're already seeing a GUI, and the website, the Mentor Skills website, at some point, some parts of it were functional as well. The QAs had done their job really well. And we had also ensured that the loose ends were tied on that project. Then finally, at this point, I'd worked on filling up my form for the grad, making sure that all the reports I had to do were in order. This presentation was in order. And also I worked on my CV, been working on my CV, working on my interview skills as well. So that's what I was able to do during my 3 months at Blue Sky. Thank you very much.
Time starts now.
All right, good evening, everyone. My name is Oyene King David, Scrum Master for Team Eagles. So tonight I'll just be giving an overview on the reports on what has basically been done throughout the program. First, to give acknowledgement where it's due to Deji and Lady Patamano, and to everyone that has contributed to this rewarding experience. So I will just skip through the organizational information, the internship objectives, the internship experience, and then straight to the tools used in the course of the internship. So, but during the course of the internship, I used Microsoft Office Suite as in Word, PowerPoint, Microsoft Teams for chat, for video calls, and for communication, basically. Azure DevOps for the project, the board, and for basically to work on projects. And then Jira, we had the training on that, and then Mira as well for the templates when we're creating our project team charter. So for the Sprint Zero activities, when we're onboarded on the program, we had a training on the introduction to Scrum Mastery. And then after that, I became the Scrum Master lead for Sprint Zero. And during that, I facilitated Scrum ceremonies, which included sprint planning, the daily stand-ups, the review, and the retrospective. Also worked closely with the development team wasn't around back then, but also had workshops on Azure DevOps. We showed what we had already done on Azure DevOps, that is onboarding the team, creating the inherited process, and so on. Facilitated a meeting with the SMs to create the project board. I had a meeting with the other SMs in my team for all of us to basically create the project board together, and just to see how everything works rather. Onboarded all the team members on the Azure DevOps board and on the Microsoft Teams app. Collaborated with the team to create the project chapter, facilitated meetings between the PO and role members, and then I also had the demo as the Scrum Master lead for Sprint Zero. So these are the artifacts for Sprint Zero that we have. So I and the Scrum Masters on my team, we created the team organogram on the wiki on Azure DevOps. We also created a Scrum Masters project plan. And then we also collaborated with the team to design the project charter. And then that's all for Sprint Zero. And then from Sprint One, once again, we presented the project board during the Scrum Master workshop, and we had onboarding of new team members. And I managed the product backlog and ensured developers worked on them, communicated effectively with the other role members to ensure they were all performing their roles, removed any impediments from team members, and escalated those that were beyond my ability, promoted collaboration among team members, and ensured I always checked up on them. And we also had several brown bag sessions to make sure that everybody was being carried along and nobody was being left behind. And also I managed to collaborate with the new Scrum Master lead for Sprint One to make sure that it was a smooth transition, and that they were brought to speed with everything that I had done during Sprint Zero. So for Sprint One, the metrics, the artifacts that we have was we added metrics to the dashboard. We estimated user stories, added wiki on Azure DevOps. We had an attendance as well, and we created a retrospective board as well. We added the capacity for the QAs and developers, and so on and so forth. For Sprint 2, the activities I had was, once again, removing impediments, blockers that were hindering the team from progressing forwards, communicating with the other role members to ensure that they were doing something, they were working on tasks. Also, we added our project charter and team organogram to the wiki on Azure DevOps. We updated the agile principles and values on the project charter. We updated the norms and values to the project charter, and carried out more brown bag sessions to
30
take role
seconds to
members
go.
on estimation on the board. Collaborated with all Scrum Masters to populate the slides for Sprint 2. And then for the artifacts for Sprint 2, we have creating the retrospective board, also liaise with the BAs to create the task for cybersecurity members, and so on. For Sprint 3, we added key metrics on the dashboard, such as velocity, burn down, burn up, and some other key metrics. We also continue to address impediments from team members, creating a swim lane for the career development tasks that we're given.
5
For
minutes.
the artifact, we created a query. We learned how to create a query. So we created a query for Sprint 3 and also Sprint 4, created a retrospective board rather. We used the query for estimation, created the epic and features, and so on and so forth. Also the tasks on chathands.com. And for Sprint 4, worked on career development tasks that were given, had training on Jira and so on. And then conclusion, the internship has been excellent and a rewarding experience for me. So it was a fantastic opportunity to gain hands-on experience and hone my skill in Scrum Mastery. Thank you very much.
5 minutes, 41 seconds. Time
Good
starts
evening,
now.
everyone. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, go on. You go on.
All right. Good evening, everyone. My name is Modupe, and this is my sprint report. Table of contents is just sprint 0 to sprint 5 summary. Our sprint 0 is the onboarding of activity, which started on the January 11th and ending April 14th. Week 1 started with general meeting where everybody got to know each other and making sure that everybody had been signed into the team. Also, we also taught the ability on how to watch live videos and record training during the section. And we also did roles introduction into Scrum Mastery, quality assurance, business analyst, data analyst, and cybersecurity. And we also kept into role guide, that's the mentor's kid, team 1, 2, 3, 4. And I was kept into team 1, mentor's kid. For our roles introduction, as a Scrum Master, we're taught what is Scrum. Scrum is an agile project management framework that helps team in order to deliver high-quality products. Who is the Scrum Master? A Scrum Master is a facilitator, a true leader of a team, and Scrum processes are used by Scrum team. The skills and responsibility of a Scrum Master: facilitate meeting with stakeholders, protect Scrum values, and team building activities. Tools used during the training: we used our Azure DevOps, that's our Azure board, our retrospective board. We used our reporting tool like the MS Office, Excel, PowerPoint. For our tracking tool, we made use of our metrics and our sprint board. For our meeting tool, we made use of our MS Teams and Zoom. Also, communication tools like our email and our meeting room. This is the pictorial view of the tools used. For week 2, during sprint 0, we got access to our Microsoft team, access to our Azure DevOps, our Azure board, and also we got to know our mentors and our body, the project's mandate, and the team charter. Sprint 1 started on the 5th of February to the 16th of February, and we began using our Scrum ceremony, that's our sprint planning. The first requirement was to develop a mentorship website where mentees could meet with mentors and have a section with them. For our sprint 1 goal was to create static page for landing pages and other menu. For sprint 1, they also asked us to do our project team charter, and project team charter could be found on our wiki page on our Azure board. And our project team charter contained our mission and vision statement, the roles of intern, values, and the team norm. This is a pictorial view of our project team charter. For sprint 1, we attended training section on our metric workshop. Metric is used to create a visual representation on the team's progress. Types of metric: we made use of our burn-down charts, burn-up charts, velocity charts. For our sprint 1, the PBI burn-down chart shows that all PBIs committed into the sprint has been completed over time. Also, for our sprint task burn-down, shows that all tasks kept on our task board has also been completed over time. For sprint 1, we also did our retrospective where all team members could talk about what went well, what didn't go well, lesson learned, the improvement, and the action planned. This is the pictorial view of our retrospective board. The impediment faced for sprint 1 was unavailability of team members, since it was just the start of the sprint. So people were just getting used to the time frame, and also people had the interns had problem in accessing the Azure board, but that has been solved over time. For our sprint 2 started on the 6th of February to 19th of February, and our sprint goal was to allow authorized functionality and ensure all menus were clickable: the menu, the login, the about us, and the contact us. During our sprint planning, we committed 12 PBIs into the sprint. This is our metrics, which shows that sprint 2 metrics PBI burn-down shows that all PBIs committed into the sprint has been completed, and our velocity chart shows that the actual work planned, the green one shows the completed one, the light green shows the completed late, and the blue one shows the incomplete. Also for our sprint 2, we did our retrospective. And at the end of the retrospective, we were able to come out
5
with the
minutes.
action plan moving forward for the next sprint, clear communication, collaboration with team members, and coordination of Scrum ceremony properly. Impediments here was unavailability of developers, and some QAs were having issues with their testers account, and that has been solved over time. For our sprint 3 started on the 5th of March to 19th of to 17th of March, and our sprint goal was to create, edit, view mentors' profile, and put a time slot on the Mentorscape website. We committed 8 PBIs into the sprint, and this is our metrics, which shows that 46% of our PBI has been completed, while 56 remains. For our burn-up chart shows that only 46 has been completed over the total scope increase. We also did our retrospective year. For our sprint 4.
6 minutes gone.
Okay, sprint 4, 19th of April to 1st of April. The sprint goal was to implement Gateway PayPal on our Mentorscape website. And during the sprint planning, we committed 12 PBI into the sprint. This is the view of our tax board. This is the metrics. 59% of our PBI during this sprint has been completed.
Just keep showing us the slides. No, don't just show us to the end. Don't talk much.
All right.
Just show us what you did.
This just shows us the rounding up of the project work. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Share your comments, please.
Your time starts now.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Olusheye Akinwalere. I am a Scrum Master, and here is my report for the duration of the training with Blue Sky Citadel. This report will feature what I have learned during the course of the 12 weeks training with Blue Sky Citadel, which started with the introduction to who a Scrum Master is, what a Scrum Master is expected to do in a Scrum team, and also the importance of the Scrum ceremonies and when they're expected to hold. I also got introduced to one of the 2 Scrum Masters use, which is the Azure DevOps, and with the training session, I was able to onboard members of the team, participated in training sessions, onboarded members of the team on Azure DevOps, while also getting familiar with the board myself, escalated impediments through the right channel. And right here is an artifact of the board detailing the onboarding of members of my team. And also here is the Azure board at the beginning of the sprint. And here is also my own board that I use during my practice. And now to sprint 1, I got more familiar with what was expected of a Scrum Master and worked with the team to ensure that our goals for the sprint were met in record time. Held brown bag sessions, took attendance to monitor turnout of teammates, attended training sessions where we were taught metrics and types of metrics. Right here is an example of the effort burn-down chart, which helps to track the work progress for the sprint and what is left to get done, and to also know if the goal will be achieved during the particular sprint. And right here is the attendance we used. And during sprint 2, I was exposed to what it meant to be a Scrum Master. And as I was the lead for the sprint, I learned the importance of being prepared for Scrum ceremonies, having them time-boxed and progress-oriented to ensure PBIs are delivered. And right here, I have the artifact, which showed Scrum ceremonies and when they're expected to take place, and also the agile principles and values that the Scrum team lives by. And here's the team organogram, which includes members of a Scrum team. And right here is the metrics board, which shows the velocity, which helps to measure completed work against planned work and forecast what can be done in subsequent sprints. And here is a retrospective board, which helps to determine how the sprint went and what could be corrected and how it could be further improved. And here is the task we were given during the sprint, which I completed. And also moving on to sprint 3, I continued to get familiar with the duties, ensured seamless communication with the Scrum team, completed tasks given, encouraged and supported the members of the team to achieve the goal for the sprint, and also monitored the Azure board. And also here is the profile of myself on Chathams, which was among the tasks given during the sprint. And now to sprint 4. As the training came to a climax, more efforts were put in to ensure the goal was met, which was achieved through participating in Scrum ceremonies to ensure that members of the team remained focused, motivated, and also monitored the project board I got introduced another tool in Scrum, which is the Jira board. And here is an example of the Jira board. And now I've been able to move around it. And here is another example of the project board for the sprint. Thank you very much for this opportunity, and thank you all for listening to my presentation.
3 minutes, 30 seconds.
Thank you, Oluwaseye. Well done. Thank you.
Time starts now.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Olumuyiwa Shegun. I'm here to present for the end of the sprint report. So here, firstly, this is the training I was able to attend, starting from introduction to Scrum Master, and that is it for the sprint one. So the only Scrum ceremony we were able to do then was the daily stand-up, where we get to know each other, where we try to know what we've done for the next 24 hours. So we set up Azure Devo. Please, yeah, sprint zero. We set up Azure Devo, and please sprint zero, building. So where I facilitated this daily stand-up, I had a session with my mentors for self-development. I attended team members impediment. So sprint one, please. Yeah, I facilitated some of the Scrum ceremony. Now we fully started our project here, where I was able to support the Scrum lead in facilitating the Scrum ceremony. We attended some training, and please stay unless I ask you to move, please. So I attended to some impediments too. So next slide, please. I facilitated some Scrum ceremony too from the sprint two. I and the rest Scrum Master had a meeting with the QA. So here some QAs are having issues, so we have to have a meeting with them to know what is really going on with them. So we had a meeting. I had some session with the mentors too in the sprint too. So I did an individual task which they gave us, which we did the presentation too, and I created a column from DAs and the cybersecurity. Next slide, please. Yeah, I was able. Yeah, I'm the Scrum lead for Sprint 3, so I deeply participated in this sprint. So for the Scrum ceremony, which is the sprint planning, sprint review, sprint retro, and also I had meeting with BO2 with BA. So I created CV column for some of the team member, which they asked us to do. I reached out to some of non-active members to know what's really going on, which some of them gave us an answer that maybe some said that they're having issue with network and some are having issue with electricity. So the next one is we also had meeting with mentors too. So sprint 4, I facilitated in some of the Scrum ceremony too. I did individual report for my program, which we are doing now. And I also had a section with some of our mentors. The blogging task that was given to us by DG was submitted in this sprint 4. And we set up a Jira software board from scratch. Next slide, please. So these are the impediments we were able to attend to from sprint 1 to sprint 4. So some of the team members were not able to receive link on their email, the Azure level link, so which was escalated to the admin. Some of the members escalated to change their email address. Some of the Scrum Master have access. So there was a time we couldn't have access to our board, so which was escalated, and we got that done by the admin. So lateness of team members to the meeting. So most especially in our sprint 2. So we have many members that have lateness to meetings. So unavailable of Scrum team. Here we have some members that are not available, most especially people from Nigeria complaining of network or electricity, something like that. So, and the next one is member having issue with work and especially team member from Nigeria. So next slide, please. So this is the Azure level that we're introducing. Next slide, please. These are our team charter that combine our value vision, our objective for the project. Next slide,
5
please.
minutes.
So next slide, I will be showing the rest slide. Next slide. So these are rest objectives. Next slide. These are board and charts from sprint 1 to sprint 4. Next slide, please. Velocity chart. Thank you.
5 minutes, 30 seconds.
With my laptop here. This is my report for my activities in Blue Sky Citadel. I joined the internship on February 15th of 2024. These are what I did during my internship. This is the table of content. I started from sprint 2. So I led the research team in our group on what WannaCry ransomware attack of 2017. We covered the source, the scope, the effects, how to recognize phishing from legit email, lessons learned from the attack. Then sprint 3 was individual PowerPoint presentation, 20 responsibilities of a Scrum Master. Then 10 tools of a Scrum Master, 20 buzzwords of a Scrum Master, and then my day as a Scrum Master. These were the tasks I was able to finish during this time. Then after that, we went into sprint 4, where I was the Scrum Master lead, and these were the activities I did during the time: facilitating brown bag session, monitoring progress of sprint 4 on Azure DevOps board, then an assignment on 10 tasks of Scrum Master, and the artifacts. These are the artifacts of what I did as I pinned them here on the board. We have so many of them. And then because this is the chat ans profile page, you can see my picture there. And then because I started late, I did a lot of personal studies. This is a project I created for myself in order to help me to practice. This is the product vision board. Then we have the product roadmap. Then we have the Jira board where I was practicing, because Jira board was what we did at the last sprint. So those were my activities. Thank you.
Time starts now.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Oguntime Olumide, Scrum Master from Team Eagles. So, over the past few weeks, I've had the privilege of serving as a Scrum Master for our team, overseeing 5 sprints in a agile development process. This comprehensive report provides in-depth analysis of my journey so far. So these are my activities for Sprint 0, which was I was taught how to facilitate daily stand-ups, also escalation of impediments, organize role meetings, and how to set up our Azure board. So this is an artifact of my process when we're trying to onboard our team members. So this is the page where we've onboarded our team members with their names. And these are the impediments we encountered during Sprint 0, which was access to our Azure board and changing of emails. So These are my activities of Sprint 1, which was on February 1st and ended on February 19th. And the sprint goal was to create a landing home page designs, and status is done. So these are my activities for Sprint 1, which was to participate in all meetings that was required, participated in the brown bag session, which was the first. And we updated our team shelter. So this is where we're taught how to set up our widgets, how to add our widget to our dashboard, which I was able to do. And also, this is when we're taught how to estimate our team capacity and estimate our task, which I was also able to do. So these are the encounters we encountered during Sprint 1, which was we had serious problems with accessing our Azure board, which really affected our work to some extent. And also we're getting logged out during our meetings also, which we escalated to the right person and it was fixed. So Sprint 2, we started on February 20 and ended on March 4th. The sprint goal was to make all static buttons function on our web page. Status was done, and the activities I participated during then was updating the agile principles and values. I assisted my team in refining definition of done and improving of sprint planning accuracy. I participated in writing user stories, which was a task given to us. I participated in updating the agile ceremonies on Wiki also. I participated in drawing our team organogram, which was an activity given to us also. So this is a really nice scenario of Scrum ceremonies, which I took the picture when we were doing it. And this is our team organogram, which was a task that was given to us to do. And this sprint 3, and we started on March 5th and ended on March 18th. The sprint goal was to design a dashboard for the mentee and mentor on our mentor speak cage. So I was the Scrum lead for Sprint 3, and these are my activities. I supported the team in preparing for a major project milestone, also assuring with stakeholders' expectation. I encourage better collaboration with the team to foster a culture of teamwork. I promoted transparency and alignment towards our common goals by creating an environment where we were freely able to share feedback, and the feedback was welcome also. I encourage opportunities to deepen understanding for agile principles through self-study and online process. So these are my activities for Sprint 3. And this was our board during my sprint, which shows the activities that were going on our board. Monitoring of team performance using the metrics board. I'll give a special appreciation to our team body, IJ, because she really took her time to explain this to us, and God bless her for that. So I was able to hold a retrospective meeting also, and I was able to handle the task given to us for our Slim Lane project. So these are the impediments we encountered during Sprint 3, which I was the team lead. So Sprint 4, which creates a payment gateway. So these are my activities on the screen, and we're able to learn Jira during our Sprint 4 and also concluded my Swim Lane task career.
5 minutes.
This is my career Swim Lane task. This my short-term page also, which the activities given has been concluded also. Thank you for listening.
Good.
Time starts now.
Can you see my screen now, please?
Yes.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. My name is Ebunlo Apoyetunji. I'm reporting my internship program in Blue Sky Citadel. So the first few weeks of the internship were onboarded, and we had introduction to different roles, the Scrum Mastery, the business analyst, cybersecurity, data analyst, and quality assurance. And thereafter, I was assigned to a team called Team Legend, and I had some other Scrum Masters on my team. We were like 4 as a Scrum Master, and I have some other role members like the business analysts, the assurance, the quality assurance, the developers, data analysts, and cyber securities and the ADMs on my team. And we're like 31 members when we started the project. And we had the mandates, the projects that we're supposed to work on. That's the mentors key web development. We had to design a web where the mentors and mentees can engage meaningfully. They can have a very wonderful experience. And that's the Scrum. So during the Sprint Zero, I had Scrum ceremonies, workshops, the team charter workshop, Azure board setup, and elicitation of requirements. We're taught what Scrum ceremonies are, the sprint, the daily stand-up, the sprint planning, review, retrospective, and how we can go about the team charter. We had a workshop and so on. And this is the pictorial view of the Azure DevOps board that we were able to set up. And going on, I was able to onboard my team members. We're about 31 members there, and I was able to add few of them with some other Scrum Masters on the Azure board, going through their emails. And we also orientate them on how to facilitate and navigate through the Azure board. And so to familiarize themselves with the projects and also to go through the norms, that's the wiki page, the team charter, we're able to form our objective, our responsibilities and roles. And this is the pictorial view of our wiki page. So going on during my sprint one, I had we committed in our team, we committed 5 stories, and none of it entered the definition of done actually. And the goal for the sprint was creating a landing page, that's the header, footer, and the banner. And going on during the sprint planning, we had the team's capacity, that's the developers and the QA's capacity. And this is the pictorial view of the team's capacity. These are tax board where they did this is a bundle chart, a retrospective where we got to check on what went well during the sprints, what didn't go well, the lesson learned, and what we should improve on. We had an action plan. So I did some tasks which I created columns for cybersecurity on the board. I wrote a user story because we're giving this task for the cybersecurity. So I wrote a user story for the requirements meant for the cybersecurity. Then I presented for my team as a Scrum Master in Sprint 1. Going on, this is the pictorial view of the story I wrote for the cybersecurity. And going on to Sprint 2, this is a project board. We committed 12 stories. This is the tax board. And we had a retrospective. These abundant charts. And Sprint 3, we committed 10 stories in our team. And this is the project board. This is my tax board. The team's tax board. We had retrospective, and we had some action plan for the sprints. And this is the bond that chart velocity, showing we were able to get some tasks done, which we didn't meet some tasks at the end of the sprint, but at least we had increments compared to other sprints. And this was the task I did. I facilitated a self-development meeting with my team members just to expose them to some things that they didn't know. I created and added tags for sprint names on the Azure board. Like we had to, design a sprint name instead of just sprint 1 and all. Then I created a swim lane on the Azure board. Then I was given a task to answer. Oh, sorry. Okay, so that's sprint 4. Then sprint 4, I was also able to do 10 questions on the blog post which I created on the chatons.com website. And I created a career development task on the board, creating CVs, and the other team members were able to move them to their to done. And this is the task board for sprint full, retrospective board, and all through the sprints, right, I was able to facilitate Scrum ceremonies and the daily stand-up, the sprint planning, the review, and the refinement, and also co-facilitated that is supporting other Scrum members and Scrum masters doing their own days of facilitating. So thank you very much.
5 minutes, 30 seconds.
Yes.
Time starts now.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. So this is a report of what I've learned during the internship. We started with the sprint one. The sprint one was basically the onboarding of all the sprint members. We had introductory classes of every of the roles involved in the Scrum team. We learned about the Scrum team and we learned about the role of the Scrum Master. And sprint two, I learned how to set up an Azure DevOps board. We were able to work on a team charter. We're able to use the Microsoft Teams for communication, and we learn about the Scrum ceremonies, the roles in place for Scrum, the daily stand-up, the retro, the sprint planning, and sorry, okay. The sprint planning, the daily stand-up, and the retrospective. I missed out the other one. Then we're working on the project we worked on was the Mentor Skill project. The Mentor Skill project was a website to connect the mentors and mentees to have access to easy mentorship. And for the sprint one goal was to work on having a landing page, fully functional landing page. And during the sprint, I was able to facilitate our daily stand-up meetings and also sprint planning. I also was able to be part of the team charter where we were able to work on our wiki page to develop our team's charter. Then also I learned about the metrics on the third sprint. I learned about the velocity chart, the sprint burn down, the PBI burn down charts, and also
you know you're sharing your screen, okay? So
hello?
Hello.
Okay. For sprint two, I was able to facilitate the daily stand-up, and I was able to resolve all impediments that my Scrum team had, from the BAs to the QAs and the devs raised the bug, which we were able to look into. Then we were able to facilitate also sprint planning, where we did estimation, capacity building, using the poker board and the Fibonacci numbers for our estimation. And the I did my tags, setting up the blogs and my CVs, and also okay, I think that's all I'll be talking about of all I've learned from here. Thank you.
Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Hello?
Yes, we can see.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Oloya Olombe.
Presentation mode, please. Presentation mode, please, quickly.
Presentation. Please, how do I do that, please? I'm trying to...
Go to the bottom of your screen in front of the Zoom and click on the presentation mode. In front of the Zoom, the icon in front of the Zoom that looks like a TV below.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Oloya Olombe, and this is my report for in the course of this sprint. And I facilitated the daily scrums, including the sprint planning, daily stand-up, and also sprint review. And I assisted in eliminating impediment within the teams. And what I also have here the picture that shows a scrum master where he's trying to show his teams, and now about to go about a project. And here, to make my slide robust, I went to look for interview questions and answers, a possible question and answer for that they could ask the scrum masters. So these are my scrum ceremony. These are the scrum ceremony and the sprint planning, daily stand-up, and daily stand-up, sprint refinement, sprint review, and retrospective. Then these are some of the tasks I was committed to. The Scrum ceremony, Then we were exposed to Azure board where we see so many things on the board, and we were exposed to Azure board setup, sprint reviews, and retrospective. And that is about sprint 0. Then moving to sprint 1, we were exposed to sprint planning, Azure board, team charter, capacity, and daily scrums. And these is the examples, and this is the screenshot of the board. Again, in order to make my sprint robust again, I went for to come up with this interview question again and answers, and about what the Scrum is all about and the Scrum bar. And moving on to sprint 2, I facilitated the sprint planning in sprint 2, and I assisted in setting up the dashboard. I created a page for each roles on the Azure board, of which I participated and assisted in some settings in setting up meetings across all the roles as well. Then moving on to the next. Good. Okay. Moving on to sprint 4, I facilitated the Scrum ceremony, daily Scrum sprint planning, and sprint review, and assisted in eliminating impediments within the teams. And we were exposed to Jira, and I participated in the sprint retrospective. And some of the I came up again with some of the interview questions that could come up for the Scrum Masters. The Spark is I spoke about. I put down a Spark set of activity that involve extreme program for research, design, investigation, and creating POC, etc. And here these are some of my artifacts, the screenshots of some of the things I did, and the team in the team Elite board. And thank you.